Salam alaikum, Juma Mubarak. Today in Juma, our Imam Imam Tamir Mutakabir, he talked to us about a lot of. One thing that he touched on, though, was about the nature of jinn and men, and it got me to thinking about things later on in the day. We're told that mankind is made from mud, clay, basically. And then the jinn are made from the smokeless flame, the pure flame, the hot flame, which would be the blue flame. And, you know, people like Jamal Zabazo and other thinking scholars have evaluated the concept of jinn. And then you've got the two basic schools of thought related to jinn, that jinn are a literal other aspect of creation, that the three aspects of creation, you've got the angels, mankind, and jinn. And then between mankind and jinn, we both groups have free will. The difference is that jinn cannot evolve their intellect. They cannot create technology. They cannot shape the world around them because they are limited in that aspect. And then the jinn have very, very long lives. They observe the world around them. They can record what they see, and they can know a lot because they've lived for thousands of years. A lot of this kind of stuff isn't in the Quran. And so there is another school of thought related to jinn that has come up. And that is a school of thought that Imam Murthy Muhammad promoted. And that was the concept that the jinn are the secondary aspect of humanity. That we both have free will because we are both the same being. And mankind is able to submit. The jinn of mankind is the sort of ego, the arrogance to go against the will of Allah. And this kind of goes hand in hand with something that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, is that Prophet Muhammad was asked about his jinn, and he told the person who asked that, well, I made my jinn Muslim. So that kind of plays into this school of thought that that we can cause our jinn self, our arrogance, our burning passions, our anger, all of the things that burn white hot, super hot, that these intense passions that deviate us away from the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, these things can consume us and control us and direct us away from the path of al-Islam, the path of Allah. And how that came to me today, the kind of epiphany I had is this idea that man is made of clay. Now, why does Allah tell us man is made of clay? Because clay is such a functional substance. You know, we can be shaped. Clay can be shaped and molded. You can make bricks out of clay. You can make pieces of art out of clay. You can make dishes out of clay. And you can cook clay in a certain way to make it strong and lasting. And then you can cook it in another sort of way, and it becomes very, very fragile. So you look at how does that play in? Well, if you use a very, very hot, the smokeless flame, the white hot flame, the hottest fire to cure your clay that's been shaped, it comes out very fragile because a lot of the clay element has turned into glass. So it smashes very easily. It is not as strong, not as rigid, not as long lasting. as something that slowly cures through a lower temperature, through sunlight, intense sunlight. And so you kind of think about, what is it that's going to shape you? Are you going to be shaped by submission to Allah? Are you going to allow Allah's path to shape you, to form you, and to cure you in a way that will be strong and resilient and long-lasting? Or will you allow your jinn, your hot, burning passions, your ego and arrogance, will you allow that to shape you and make you into a fragile piece that falls apart because he has no support? So playing with these ideas in my head and thinking about the way that Allah speaks to us in the Quran and the word choices that are used that are so significant. And so this is why it's important for us as Muslims, as students of Allah, to look at how Allah has presented information to us, to look at the word choices of the Quran. And even if we do not read Arabic and speak Arabic fluently, we have resources at our disposal that when we look at the Quran and we see there's something in it that doesn't quite match to the rest of the Quran, well, we don't discard that, because all of the Quran is the word of Allah. But you break it down and you start looking, okay, this is the word. What does that word really mean? And you look into your Arabic, your Quranic Arabic dictionary, and you break down the word into its meanings and into its minute parts and find out what the root is and what it connects to. And this all goes back to how the Quran was revealed to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Is that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent Jibril alayhi salam to squeeze the Quran out of Prophet Muhammad, what did he do? Jibril recited the Quran, and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that Jibril would recite it to him 7 different times in 7 ways. And this goes down further into the breakdown of the language of the Quran and why it is so rich and layered. So I tell you, my brothers and sisters, we do not take one understanding of the Quran. We have to dig and pull it apart and find the layers of meanings. All the thought exercise that I did today that I just shared with you, this is done through looking at what the Quran says literally and figuring out what it is, the deeper lessons that we can learn from that. And it is not haram for us to seek knowledge. You know, when I was a Christian, I would ask my pastor when things would confuse me in the Bible, why is it like this? And he got to a point where he said, you know what our great leader Billy Graham said, that a good Christian does not ask, a good Christian obeys. This is what I was told. But as a Muslim, when I go to the Imam and I say, Brother Imam, I have a problem with this. It doesn't make sense. Do you know what the Imam does? Every single Imam, every single scholar, everybody that I have ever learned from in Islam has said, well, brother, let's sit down together and let's analyze the Quran. Seek knowledge. Seek perfection through the path of Allah, and do not give in to your jinn. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jumu'ah Mubarak. And as always, free Palestine.